Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back with another recording session of Hearthstone, and I just have to, I just broke down and cried for the past hour, because I did the first episode already of this. I had good commentary, talked about cool stuff that I'll try and bring up again on this episode. I had a win 2 games with Warlock or Priest, and we got that done. We've almost gotten halfway done with this. We did an arena run um, with the Warlock, and we didn't win any. It was a straight 3 losses on that, so not too upset about losing that part. But wow, I just wasted an hour talking into a microphone that was just not enabled. It was so bad. So bad. So, we're gonna have a short recording run now for you. I cannot do another arena run. I can't afford it. If I... Well, I guess I could afford it, but I don't really feel like doing it. Let's see. Because I won't be making any progress on my gold if I do it. I needed to be over 190. If I get these 2 done, I'll be over 190. I'll only be up to 195. I've decided after I have like 500, if I get 600, I'll buy a 100 gold pack with. But yeah, I can't do an arena run, so basically all you're gonna see today this is Paladin and Warrior ranked runs. Um, And there will only be 2 episodes in this recording session now. There's no point in, well, this guy's the Paladin, and he's our Murloc Dex. We may just have some fun with that, yeah. We may only get 2 episodes, we may only get 1 episode if we get both of the things done. I don't see... Haven't we rebuilt the decks enough at this point? If there is one character I haven't rebuilt, like the Warlock, no, we've done the Warlock. I know we have. So we've, at this point,
I will fight
definitely done all of the characters, except for the mage, which there's little reason to do the mage. I mean, I guess I could go. We could redo the mage just for funsies. Have a have the mage be at the bottom. That way, we know if we start redoing the decks again, new decks will be past the mage. So yeah, that'll be a pretty smart thing if we have just as a marker. Alright. This is a shame. Man, that was a good episode too. So the problem here is, watch what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna talk about the problem about talking about something you've already talked about longer than talking about the thing that I've already talked about, because I've already talked about it. Now, if you can follow that logic, you will eventually understand what I'm saying. Hopefully. Probably not. The problem with talking about something you've already talked about is every time I talk about it, particularly me, it will become more refined, more concise, faster, often to the point where I can, in my mind at least, I'm done talking about it after saying a few words, and then people are like, what are you talking about? Well, explain more. We didn't have those dozen previous times you've said this. And so, yeah, it gets more concise, the details, the ums. Now, I don't particularly say too much. I've heard a lot of other people say a lot more than me. Maybe I'm just being mean about that to other people, but I don't say but I certainly in sentences say when I just talk about something, or in phrases when I say like when I say at the moment, to my knowledge, as far as I know. All those sentences on my level of how I communicate, those are sentences. They are the things filler in the middle
You shall
that
not pass.
really don't convey information. And if you want to be a writer for any kind of publication or anything, you've got to get very used to using things like that to spread what could have easily been a paragraph of information. There, I said did not mean to do that. But when you're writing an article, you do need to flesh things out and add more non-useful information. That certainly wasn't my problem. That certainly, another phrase, was my problem in all my English classes. Because I could write the response to an essay, but then it would be 2 sentences, 3 sentences, and not like long run-on sentences. I can just concisely tell you the answer to what you want, and that's not what they want when they're giving you a writing assignment. They want you to specifically to flesh things out and make things longer than they really need to be.
For justice.
Weapons ready.
Job's done.
So, let's see. Now that I've talked about how this talk that I'm about to have is going to be more concise than the last time I said it, I've probably taken up more time talking about that than the conciseness savings that are about to occur. Of course, now things are better thought out. When I was first talking, it was off the top of my head. Now when I'm going to be talking, it is going to be thought out, so I can start from my final thought at the end of the conversation, and we can do it. This sounds like I'm just teasing people at this point, and am never actually going to get to it. It's like one of those terrible link bait websites that says, "We will explain it to you right after this commercial," and it's right after this commercial, right after this commercial, right after this, and it never happens.
Reporting for duty.
Weapons ready.
So let's start the conversation now. I've come to the determination that it was a bit of a mistake, and I'm not going to correct it by stopping any of my channels
Job's done.
or series, but it was a bit of a mistake to have 2 roguelike or roguelike-like games, I can't ever tell the difference, in a row. not in a row, but side by side. So FTL and Isaac. Uh, Isaac, play through a game over and over and over again. That's the roguelike experience I'm talking about. FTL, play the same game over and over and over again. And every time you play, there's some small improvement. You unlock a few more things, you get better. Yes, but it was a mistake to have them side by side. I have Hearthstone here, which is a card game that having an episode every day is fine. I'm putting nearly 100% of everything I play, except for when I screw up recording episodes, up. And then I'm not really playing much, if at all, if I'm not recording Hearthstone. The only time that's not true is when I'm uploading videos or doing something different that won't allow me to use the computer, so I'll play Hearthstone on the tablet a little. But that's it. Now, for Isaac and FTL, it has gotten to the session. Whenever. Wow, exactly what I needed. Do I want to give him a Divine Shield card?
Weapons ready.
He's a 0/4 and it's pretty easy to defeat.
To battle!
Now if I play this, he'll just get 1/2 and that would be dangerous. So I'll just end my turn. He's got, what is this? That's like different. So it's not SKULLS, it's like SKU then an lowercase I or a 1 LS or maybe L and then a 1S. Skulls. He's going out on his own terms.
That was a mistake.
We are also only 5 days away from the end of this January season. Now you'll probably be seeing this episode close to the end of the February season because I'm a month ahead. I really don't want to change that. It's just too dangerous. It's just too dangerous to not have a backlog. If I got busy or something happened, there could be entire, very long periods in which we weren't able to record, and then you wouldn't get a consistent episodes. And so I don't want to do that, even if the trade-off is, yes, this is a month behind. Doesn't really matter that much on Hearthstone. Doesn't really matter too much on FTL because FTL is an old game. It kind of matters a little bit on Isaac Rebirth because Isaac Rebirth is still a relatively new game, and then I'm playing it and putting out episodes a month later where it won't be as relatively new. And what can I say? I mean, there's two ways to swing this. I could either play Isaac Rebirth, since it's new, just in long live streams with big chunks of it not having any talk in it, or I can edit myself down to the level that I'm doing now, where I only play it every time I play is an episode, and then there is a 24-hour break between each episode that is not accurate, because when I'm playing Isaac, I play for one, then I take like an hour break, and then I play again and do another episode. I don't know. I mean, there's something to be saying you're first, but I'll never be first. I will never be the first person to post any video of any game unless I'm given special access to a game that nobody else is given. And so I'm never going to be first. I might as well just be consistent and try to be good. Part of the thought of being good is both in FTL, both in Isaac, I have come to several occasions where I said, you know what, I'm just going to play offline, not record some of the play, and then I'll come back. And usually it's for one specific goal, and then I'll come back and say, alright, it took me 8 hours to just reset, and keep on trying to unlock this one thing. So you could have either had, I could have either done that, or I could have given you, or you could have had 8 episodes in which I did the exact same character or the exact same ship on FTL, and then and failed over and over again until I succeeded. And particularly for FTL, I kind of felt that Isaac would be more like Hearthstone and I would play it forever, but I'm kind of seeing the end of the tunnel for both of them. There will be a point, and they're both kind of in the distant future, maybe FTL is closer, where I'm gonna just hit that plateau point. Maybe I'll just do 100% of everything, but I'll probably hit a plateau point. It's not likely I'll do 100% on any game. It's just not likely. It takes too much time. If it takes you 10 hours to get to 90%, it'll take you 30 hours to get up to 100. And it's just not an efficient use of time, if anything else. If nothing else. That's what I meant. But
Job's done.
so I don't expect any of my series will be I did 100%. It's not going to be like if I did a Skyrim thing, I would say, alright, I've done all of it. That would be insane. But it's true for anything. I don't think I'll get 100% on Hearthstone. Maybe I will, because Hearthstone is as much just a glue to my channel as it is an actual game. The reason Hearthstone is going to stay around for longer than other things is because
Hit it very hard.
Wanna blow something up?
it's because we yeah, that didn't work too well for me.
Well played.
Making fun of me. But the reason why Hearthstone's gonna stay around is because it is a slow-paced card game that allows me to talk, and I can sit here and talk, and we can have the turn not end on us that fast. So we're really keeping it for that reason more than anything else. So what I'm saying there is, yes, Hearthstone may get to 100% just out of me playing it year round forever. I may get all the cards, I may eventually get all the cards to gold things, I may eventually get 500 victories plus. Now, is that really 100% on Hearthstone? I don't know. I don't think so, because I think to 100% a online competitive card game, you would have to be the best player in the world. Wouldn't you? Maybe that's when you would start saying 100% plus rank. So there could be I 100%ed the game plus my rank was 1 at the end of some season. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. But I don't really feel like I have a real fear that well, I heavy suspicion might be more accurate. It's just that we won't get all of the. We're just not going to get all of the. The things unlocked in Isaac. I heavily suspect we're not going to, because the final character is really difficult. Really difficult to unlock. And maybe we can unlock him, but then playing as him is even more difficult. You cannot take any damage at all with the final character. Just none. Very few of the items will change it so you can take 1 or 2 hits, but that's it. You can't get black hearts, you can't get soul hearts, you can't get HP up. It's just 1 hit and you're dead with the final character. And then to unlock at least 6 items would require you to take him and beat Mom's Heart and the Lamb and the Blue Baby and Isaac and Satan, and so you would have to take this character that can only take 1 hit to all of the major bosses and win, and that's not going to be probably plausible at all.
It's time for a little blood. My shield for Argus!
Man! Job's done.
So I doubt we'll do 100% Isaac. FTL, on the other hand. No, not on the other hand, on the same hand. What is 100% on FTL? It is unlocking all the ships, which is something, of course, I want to do. I would not probably end the series if we haven't unlocked all the ships, but then the final ship is quite difficult, so maybe I won't unlock the final ship. Who knows? At the very least, I want to unlock the slug ship. I feel like I've gotten the option to unlock the slug ship like twice and messed up and chosen the wrong option. So that's another thing I may have to just grind offline. But we can grind it online too, because it's just an event that will occur. But will I beat all of them on hard? No. Will I beat them all on... Will I beat the final guy on normal? Probably not. That would be about a good way to... Probably a good way to just wrap up the series. Is to say... Alright, I'm gonna play all the ships now on 1 game on normal, and then 1 game on hard, or 1 game on hard and then 1 game on normal. How would I want to do that? I probably want to play the game on just hard. You know, we'll just play every ship on hard when we decide we've gone as far as we can, with FTL, and then we'll play it on hard, then we'll try it on normal, and then we'll try it on
What to do?
Ready
easy.
for action!
Might as well. So we do 5 ships and
Job's done.
yeah, I could do 5 ships and then say I'm gonna play this on hard today, a week from, well, it won't be a week, I'll just do all the ships. All the ships, we'll go through them, we'll play them through hard, then all the ships, we'll go through them, we'll play them through normal, and then all the ships, we'll go through them and play them through easy. So that would be a lot of episodes though, because remember there's like 6 ships, or something like that. And then on top of the 6 ships, on top of the 6 ships, they all have an A, B, and C. So you're talking maybe a little less than 18 ships. That 18 episodes of we're gonna just wrap it up and end it there. Yeah, that would give me a significant boost and more episodes to do. Yeah. And then we could wrap up the FTL series and never end them, really. We never have to end the series. We can always go back. There can always be updates. There can always be new content. Or just a good old-fashioned, I want to go back and watch it. But to get back to the start of this conversation, it was a mistake to have 2 roguelike games. I should have had a game, like if you look at my spotlights for Limbo, there's a game I played all the way through, and there's really no reason to play it through a second time except for to unlock the oh, what am I trying to say? The unlockables and 100% it, which I didn't do, but it's not really that important. I think I have done it some previous time I played it. A lot of the games that I'm recording at the moment I've played before all the way through to almost 100%, so I'm adding to my to the amount of time I've played them. But yes, it was, I should have at least 1 game if I'm gonna stick with 3 games a day. I need to stick with Hearthstone as a good game for talking, and if I'm gonna get rid of Hearthstone, I need to replace it with something else that would be a good game for talking. Something very slow paced, and then I don't know what that would be other than another card game, or maybe a puzzle game, maybe something like that. I guess we could do.
Reporting for duty.
But it would have to be something slow paced that I could talk with. It would also have to be something that I was going to suspect I would play for a very long amount of time. And at the moment, I suspect I'm going to play Hearthstone for a long amount of time, so I don't know what could replace Hearthstone in the schedule. But any game could replace Isaac. Any game that I like and want to show off. Yeah, any of those games could replace Isaac. Any game could replace FTL. Do I want to keep one roguelike game in the schedule at all times? Not particularly. It doesn't always have to be a game that's like Isaac or
For Doomhammer. Victory
or
or
FTL. It could just be Hearthstone and then 2 games that are just played through once, and that'll be the end of the series. But I do have another roguelike, and I am giving some thought to maybe putting up some videos for Minecraft, even though I said I'm not going to. I think I might do another spotlight every now and then. Whenever I have a thought that I want to work on, and I might as well record it. And my thought here is that I would like in my new server, the 1.8 server, which is going to have all the land regenerated. You can look at my spotlight for my 1.72 craft bucket server to see just a percentage, really. Probably a good percentage, but not all of it. Of all the things that I created, a lot of the things I created in that server I would save to a Minecraft MC Edit schematic, and then I would delete them out of the servers. So there was some great things I had made that did not even get shown. Like, I have a great numerical, really small design for a 0 through 9 counter, which then I tripled to, so it's 0 through 99, and it uses piston tape technology, and it's a really small design. It's not my design, but it is awesome looking, and it is about 6 deep and 6 wide, which is really, really small in blocks to do that thing, to pull that off. Because if I tried to design that, it could have been as huge as the one design you saw me trying to do all the letters. Of course, doing just 10 numbers is way easier than doing 26 letters plus possibly even some symbols.
Job's done.
On that counter, there was also onto the 0 through 99 counter, I attached a whole array of command blocks where the Minecraft blocks used to have numbers attached to them, and they still kind of do, but they're being phased out, so there's no great reason to try and still use that technology, because it's not going to be accurate in the close future. So it used to be that I had it set up, if you knew the block ID number, you could type it in and then press a button and it would give you a stack, which is 64 usually of an item. Oh, darn it. Man, because I had 2 of these were just lined up for it. Alright, so yeah, there was an entire wall dedicated to just a digital command block version of the item sorter, basically. So instead of having to go to a chest and picking up items, you just typed in the number and hit the button and you got the item. And there was a lot of logic into it, more than really redstone. It was more logic than redstone, the redstone itself,
Job's done.
I came up with quite a few creative ways for it to work, but just working out the programming of it was more of the work. Making a system that counts to 10 and so it understands just base 10 numbering is a little bit more difficult than you would have thought, and it required a whole special mechanism in which you would push a piston would push sand up, and if it was fast enough, it would increment the sand. And I guess I'll show that design at some point in the spotlight. That's what I'm thinking, is I'm not gonna really do like
My shield for Argus.
like episodes, but I am thinking maybe I'll show off some more stuff as I'm working or thinking about working on my 1.8 server.
Job's done.
And one of the things I'm thinking about doing is there's this mod in Minecraft called Skyblock. And in Skyblock, there's a bunch of other mods inside of it, but you start off in the sky and below you is just the void, so you'll just, if you fall, you just fall all the way into infinity until you die. Oh man. He pulled it off. He saved him. Saved himself. And so, in Skyblock, you're just on a small starting platform, and there are different ones you can start off with. You can just pick whatever platform and load that one up. And you're given very few elements. Usually you start off with a couple of saplings and that's it. A couple saplings and like one piece of dirt. And so you have to place the sapling on the dirt, wait for the tree to grow. Then you have to punch with your fist the tree, get the wood, turn the wood into a mod item called what is the mod item? A crook. And then the crook allows you to use the crook on the leaves of the next tree. So you kill the first tree, you hopefully get a sapling to make another tree. The second tree, you use the crook on the leaves, and that gives you more leaves, more apples, and sometimes worms, which is a mod item. So it's really a game of you're just gonna have a lot of items. And from working the trees and the apples and the crooks, eventually you have enough leaves that you can put in another item called a oak barrel. When you put enough leaves in the oak barrel, it turns it to dirt. And there's lots of mod mechanics in this that are not in vanilla Minecraft, and there's a real good reason there why they're not in vanilla Minecraft, because it often will make the game seem more realistic, like you're fertilizing leaves and making dirt and all of that, but it also makes the game really complicated, and to get a single thing of dirt in Skyblock takes like several minutes and a lot of effort, whereas to get a single thing of dirt in regular Minecraft, all you have to do is punch the ground that you're standing on, and there's just tons of dirt. Often the mods for Minecraft change a lot of the dirt into other things, more minerals that don't exist in vanilla. So all kinds of minerals that they just didn't want to go down path and make the game super complicated, even though it's more realistic. And so in Skyblock, you work through all these new systems, and the point is to learn these systems as you're playing. And eventually, you get a hammer. You use the hammer on the dirt turns to sand. You use the hammer on sand, you can turn it to dust a lot of times. And when you have sand, dust, or dirt, all of them, you can put them in another mod item called a sieve, and the sieve will give you small random amounts of minerals. So you'll get like cobblestone bits, and when you get 4 cobblestone bits, you'll make one cobblestone brick. And so you start on this platform with almost nothing, and then as you work your progress, and you're making more and more stuff, and you're expanding your platform, and you're creating your own little world in the sky from nothing, from all your efforts. And so what I want to do on my vanilla server is see if I can replicate that. And it's going to take a lot of work, and I'm not going to replicate it 100%. But what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to find a lake, and then I'm going to replace a lake with lava. There was 2 options here. I could either find an area and take out all of the dirt underneath it, so that I could teleport people to the sky above it, and then they couldn't jump down or climb from below and bring items that they're not supposed to have. I think I'll create an elevator system at the hub, and it'll say something along the lines of, click here to go to the skyblock, and then it will take all the inventory items and put them in a chest, or it'll have them put all their items in a chest, and then when they come back down they can get it. That way they don't get teleported up there with a bunch of stuff that they're not supposed to have, which would kill the whole point. And so they'll get up there, and when the first person gets on the server and goes to the skyblock section, they'll be the first person to make any progress. And I suppose it'll go off in like 4 directions and have 4 of the same thing. That would make the most sense. Is just have 4 copies of the starting section in 4 different directions, so at least 4 people could progress if they want.
Job's done.
And in the middle, where they're going to be teleported, is going to be some kind of market design, because I cannot, without putting mods in there in the server, which I don't want to do, I cannot have them convert leaves into dirt. It's just not part of the game mechanics. So to fix that, I am going to create a redstone device, command block device, that is going to, much like you saw in the market, it will take 10 leaves from them and give them 1 block of dirt. So all they would have to do is go up to the market, click a button, it'll take 10 leaves from their inventory and give them a block of dirt. And for any mechanic like that, I will have to create some kind of trade. So it will be a skyblock with command block trade mechanics built in. Which I don't know if anybody else has done that, but I'm certainly not watching tons of Minecraft forums or posts or anything. And so I'll just have to work through it. How am I going to replace a lake with lava? Probably a cheatery way. I'll probably have to go in there and cheat to do that.
To battle! To battle!
Weapons ready.
Reporting for duty.
So for each trade, I'll have to figure out how they're doing that. I will probably also have to build in 1.81. There's a new block for administrators like me called the barrier block. It is an invisible block that the player can't see and the operator can only see when he's holding the other barrier blocks. And I'll have to make like a wall around the lake so that people don't try to just make stairs up from wherever the edge of the lake is to the edge to the sky block, which isn't that hard of a problem, but
To battle!
oh, this might work pretty well as soon as I get Calcazad out. So I'll have to probably use some barrier blocks to make a wall. There's really no way to make a wall to go all the way to infinity. I could, I guess. I could just make... There is a limit you could set in the servers of how high somebody can build. Sometimes it's 128, sometimes it's 256. You could probably set it to 512 too if you wanted. So if I do that, I could just build the barrier block all the way to the top, and then no matter how high their ladders go, they'd still hit barrier blocks. Yeah, that'll work. So, thinking things through. Let's see.
Minions, servants, soldiers of the cold dark, obey the call of Kel'Thuzad.
Alright. So, we want this guy gone.
To battle!
This guy.
To
And
battle!
this guy.
Reporting for duty.
Now I want to kill this guy so he gets his attack changed back to 32 at this point. He definitely wants Kel'Thuzad gone. Oh! Due to his great effort, he was able to pull that off. I don't think it's gonna matter enough, though.
For justice!
So I'm thinking I'm gonna do a spotlight on Minecraft and just start working on that and see how far I can get. Maybe I'll do spotlights whenever I work on Minecraft. That'll certainly be an experiment on just how can I get a keyboard and mouse to work in my current configuration. I will definitely have to use a keyboard and mouse to play Minecraft. Which also means I will be talking into a headset, which with a controller not doing anything while playing with a keyboard and mouse, which will be at least a little silly.
For justice!
So that's what I'm thinking about. I'm gonna do another spotlight. Certainly don't have room to start a 4 series. Not approaching that thought at all. It's just I have a thought here. I want to experiment on it. Also, there was a whole nother conversation that I'm not even gonna get into. This is what we call a tease. And I'll talk about it maybe next episode. I think it's only fair I do one more episode even though we've done all the quests. We'll do another episode. We'll rebuild the mage and play the mage, and had a real interesting conversation when I was recording with the microphone off, and I want to get back to that.
Reporting for duty. To battle!
Oh, I don't know if I can survive this. This is interesting. Doesn't matter if I win or lose. I'd rather this guy to attack.
Get down!
This is one of the times where the Murloc deck didn't really play off as well as I would have liked. But it does seem to work quite well, and I didn't have a really good choice as far as other cards I could play. The Paladin had the worst selection that I've seen, I feel like. So we can do this, we can summon this,
Reporting for duty.
but will we win? No.
To battle!
If I could only make him draw 16 cards.
Back from the jungle.
Yep, I've lost.
Get down!
Oh well. We will probably finish the season somewhere in 19 or 20. Which is, I don't care about rank. I mean, my cards aren't good enough, and I'm not good enough. But mostly my cards aren't good enough to get me high in the rank. Maybe one day we'll get to rank 1. That's a dream for another day. But not today, not tomorrow. Almost up to 700 victories. And we certainly have a lot more guys that we need to work our way. Rogue here is at 30, so they're close to being halfway done. Mage is at 60. Really just goes to show you how much more I played Mage than anything else. And to really show that, we will redo our Mage deck because I just want a line. I want to take the Mage from here and put it here because I know I've redone the Warlock and we were doing them all in order, so we've almost certainly redone all the decks at this point. So by redoing the Mage, we will have a line if we ever get in several months when we decide to redo the decks again, we will be able to use that as a line. And that'll be next episode. We don't have any quests to do, and this is the first episode in the recording session that you've seen because I screwed up the first recording, which is just a major loss. It's not that bad though, because I had extra. This is why I have extra. This is why I'm a month in advance. Is if stuff like this happens, then we still should be all right. So sorry about that. You really didn't miss much because it was just in the played as the Warlock and lost 3 times in a row, played as a warlock on ranked, and won 2 times in a row. That was it. And you've heard half of the conversations now of what I talked about in the first episode. I will talk about the other conversation in the next episode. That's what we call the tease. As always, I ask everybody to like, share, and subscribe. Comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos, because all that stuff helps. Have a good evening.